And we're back. Welcome to episode 63 of the No Hangover podcast. Across from me, we got my co-host,
Yep.
E.
What a good.
You can follow us on Spotify. We're on SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple Podcast. Follow our Instagram at No Hangover Podcast. We hardly ever go on it, but on Twitter, No Hangover 2.
Hey,
or
it's there, though.
Yeah, it is there. But
you want to talk to no one.
best place to reach us is definitely the Instagram, though.
Yes.
Like always, leave us some comments, some feedback. We love, hearing what you think about the podcast. YouTube, you could leave comments there. You could subscribe as well to all platforms. We have 11 playlists.
Yes, sir.
Where are those at?
On Spotify, at the No Hangover profile, there's 11 of them. And if you can't find them on Spotify, they're at my personal profile on Apple Music at Eric_Ponte34. So you can catch them there.
Catch a vibe. We got a lot of different music for you.
For sure.
And
before we start anything else, we do have a shout out. He's been on the show already, our boy Ryan. He's a window tinter. He's starting his own business. You can find him on Instagram. His business name is XL Tint. That is XCEL Tint. At Instagram, it's the same thing, XL Tint with an underscore in between that. You can find him on Facebook. Just type in XL Tint and it will take you to his work profile. And if you listen to the show and you live in the Orlando area, you could just give him a call at 386-479-7111. Call or text for a free quote. And he'll get you right. He'll get your car looking clean. You won't be fishbowling anymore.
Yep, clean
with your lame ass.
Clean and spiffy. And especially in Florida with this heat,
yeah,
keeps the car a little cooler. If you want to jam out to one of these songs on the playlist, you don't want someone beside you seeing you. Get your shit tinted.
Well, no, I want to see them jamming out so they spread the good word of the podcast and the playlist.
Touche. Still get your shit tinted. Hit up our boy Ryan. He'll get you right.
For sure. Well, let's get into it.
Alrighty. Some things we were talking about a little bit earlier is, especially on our podcast, but hopefully you all have the same. We're talking about mental toughness.
Yes. Mental toughness.
Yes. That's a real son of a bitch sometimes. For instance, what is this weekend?
This weekend or this whole month?
No, this weekend.
This weekend.
Specifically. Why is there a 3-day weekend?
Oh, Labor Day.
There you go. So this weekend is Labor Day weekend. I hope everyone stayed safe their Labor Day weekend for sure. Just that being said, though, ironically, my birthday is at the end of this month. So I decided to do a sober September. It's been a long week. Through the weekend and all, Labor Day, it's all good.
So what is sober September consist of? What are you being sober from?
September consists of soberness on all platforms. It means, just cleansing. I'm basically doing a cleansing my body of all the toxins. No drinking, no smoking hookah, nothing like that going into my. No smoking weed.
There you go.
For anyone who was wondering,
there you go.
Haven't done any of that, so. Sober Sally over here.
Tell the truth. I mean, it's a good thing. Because I mean, if you don't know by now, we smoke weed. Obviously, I'm obviously like, I'm good with it. I feel like it's good. It has health benefits to this stuff. But at the same time, necessarily smoking it, like the smoke going into your lungs is not necessarily good anyways, just because you really shouldn't be putting smoke in your lungs like that. So like cleansing yourself, whether it's alcohol, whether it's weed, whether it's hookah, whether it's even like food, like sugary foods and shit like that, just kind of cleansing your body and giving yourself like the detox, getting all that shit out of you. And you'd be surprised what good it does for your body. Plus, on the topic, it does, it tests your mental toughness, and little things like that, helps build habits for, when something big comes along and you something that you don't think you could get through or whatever, but you've looked back on the little moments that you have built up on. You might want something, or you might want to get something, you have an impulse buy or this, that, whatever, and you're just like, well, I don't need that right now, and then you just turn the other way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like good habits form by doing stuff like this. And I mean, like you were saying, just anything you do in excess can be bad for you. I mean, for instance, even too much water can necessarily be bad for you. So not that we, drank or were, I wasn't killing myself since I've been back anyways, haven't been partying, shit like that, but I just like to do shit like this to kind of test myself. For instance, Labor Day weekend is a it's a weekend basically people get
to
fucked
turn
up.
up part. Turn up. I mean, every holiday in this.
Pretty much. It's just,
it's a money grab.
It's an excuse to drink, to party, to chill with family. So, I mean, I have no problem with chilling and all that, but for the whole month of September, you invite me to an event, you catching me with some water. This ain't no water, Playboy. Nah, but it is. It's just some water. Go to old Zephyr Hills.
But I mean, that kind of going back to like most holidays being a time to like let loose, unwind, and things of that nature. Like, I mean, I feel like we have a lot more like random holidays, which I mean, it's not really random, but the way that we use these holidays to kind of unwind is because in a lot of other countries, like their work weeks are like 4 days a week.
Correct. We
like as a country, like a lot of people are working 6 days a week, like going strong, and like takes one day off.
I am one of them.
Exactly. So it's, it kind of plays into the, having mental toughness to be able to grind that shit out. And, if you're grinding and you have the mental fortitude to get through these tough times and work through, being tired and being, maybe I don't feel like doing this today, then, you're going to reap the benefits financially, or someone's going to recognize you and you're going to move up in a position or something like that. And I mean, that's a good thing about living in a country where there's opportunity afforded for people who work hard regardless.
Correct. Yeah. That is one of the positive things, and why so many people do come to America is because the possibilities are endless. I mean, there's no ceiling. Mm-hmm. It's basically what you put in. I mean, granted, I say this, and it's not always like this, but in a sense, what you put in, you can reap the benefits from. If you're, constantly grinding, constantly, trying to improve, better yourself, you're most likely going to succeed in whatever goal you have set. Mm-hmm.
And not to say that there's not going to be obstacles along the way. Like 100%. I feel like people hear that and be like, but what about this and what about that? Yeah. But that's where your mental toughness comes in. It's like, what is, at some point there's going to be an obstacle, what big, small, whether it's a little bump on the knee or it's like something catastrophic that's going on. Like that at those moments is going to, well, how bad do you really want what you're trying to achieve? Like when the bigger the obstacle, usually the better the benefit is on the other side.
This is true. Yeah, like, for instance, the turmoil or the bigger, like you said, the kind of, because we had talked about this many episodes ago, kind of like, to get to a mountaintop, there's going to be some valleys you go through. So, for instance, there might be some deep valleys where it's real, a real low point, and you don't think you're ever going to get through it. But you kind of just have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, keep chugging, and you basically, keep going, keep fighting, and you'll make your way back up to that mountaintop.
I mean, that's what life is. It's peaks and valleys.
This is true.
I mean, throughout your life, you're gonna go through high points whether the high point's a day or a whole year. Maybe you're on a 3-year high. You're over here like ruling the world, doing whatever you're doing, like just making moves, and then, at some point there's gonna be some type of turbulence.
Shit's gonna catch you.
At that point, it's gonna, how prepared were you for these types of of things? And I mean, that kind of. When you have a certain like mindset about what you're trying to accomplish, like you got to take in the good and the bad. You got to everything's possible. Like at some point you're gonna have to take a risk.
Oh yeah.
You want to make it a calculated risk though.
Yes, you do.
A lot of people will associate the word risk with like it has like a negative connotation to it. Like people think, oh, risk is not good. I mean,
because a lot of people, going into risks, because risks, for instance, that requires something has to change. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, it's just the way humans are built. A lot of people don't like change.
They're comfortable as fuck.
Correct.
They like being content.
They're scared of the possibilities or what can happen. Because, for instance, with risks, there could be a positive change or it could be a negative change. That's why it's called a risk. Risk reward. You kind of calculate it to where you plan on this risk, getting you to this point. But it can easily fuck up and you can be somewhere completely different. So you kind of hope to elevate, yourself, and hopefully the risk is worthwhile.
But that's up to you to determine.
This is true.
And again, that goes into like,
And that's why we said the topic of mental toughness, because kind of test yourself and basically not only who you are as a person, but what you can withstand.
I mean, that's why I love sports. Like, that's like playing sports growing up, like that really like.
Yeah. I mean, sports is a good indication of like your mental toughness, especially growing up. At least for us, like that's how we learn. Mm-hmm. For instance, I mean, it can be with anything. Because, I mean, even chess, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, challenging yourself in a sense. But, like, for us growing up, like, we play sports. So, like, when you're challenging yourself, not only physically but mentally at the same time, I feel like that kind of, it adds a little extra to it. That you can kind of see that you're able to get into like the nitty gritty if you really need to, especially playing like I played mostly outside sports. Like I was playing soccer, football, so that's in the elements and shit like that. So it really kind of like when there's been points where I've been fucking dead fucking tired. Like I'm over here like I'm on my last breath, like hands on my knees. Like I don't think I can give any more. But when you're I guess like part of it is the competition, but also part of it is like who's gonna give in first. Like what? Like am I gonna? I mean, essentially it is pretty much all competition and pride at that point, because it's like I'm not gonna let this guy across from me beat me and like
mental toughness. I mean, for instance, because we've even gone back and forth playing sports. Mm-hmm. For instance, I could be dead tired, but I know I'm going to keep going. For instance, like I'm just not going to give you that option of beating me. Like, granted, I could be exhausted, but I know, all right, my body will make it. If your mind is there, if you think you could do it, you're going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this shit, I definitely applied this. The best example I can give to this is the Tough Mudder.
I want to try one of those.
When I did that Tough Mudder
races, yeah.
Shout out to Jose and Donna, because Donna was there. She didn't do it, though. Donna, I know you're listening. Do the next one. The Tough Mudder, I got tricked first off. I'm thinking this is like for anyone who doesn't know what a Tough Mudder is, it's basically like what I thought was going to be a 5K. So I was kind of mentally prepared myself for a 5K, which, that's a couple miles, whatever, 3 miles, whatever. That is not what the fucking Tough Mudder is. So I get there, and I find out that this 3.5 mile run I thought I was about to take is an 11-mile run.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And it has obstacles and shit.
It does. The obstacles is what I was excited for, but just to find out, like.
But like the distance, but like, what was the distance between each obstacle?
That's the fucked up part, because it's like I think it's like 22 obstacles I want to say, but it's spread out between 11 fucking miles.
So you got some.
So. We take off running, right? And, I have what was funny is because, I mean, people who know me, I'm in pretty good shape, but I'm not like the biggest guy. I'm not like working out all the time. When we went to go do this, Jose, they were actually doing CrossFit at the time. Mm-hmm. So they went with their like whole CrossFit class.
Yeah, that's just hard.
So all these people, are, pretty ripped because they do CrossFit,
shape,
They're all in good shape. I'm coming off fucking nothing. Like I play basketball for God's sake. So I have stamina, but like, I was like a skinnier, I'm still skinny now, but I was skinnier then and everything. So my main goal, I was like, I'm looking at all these like buff ass people. I'm like, I'm going to beat all y'all. I literally just was like, yep, I don't care how this race ends up. I'm going to beat every single one of this in this group. Yeah. And I ended up doing it. Like I was like, fuck it. I did the damn thing. But
out of like their group of people that they came with?
Yeah. Out of everyone in that group, the only person that beat me was Jose. But Jose plays soccer, so he had an unfair advantage.
Yeah, I feel like in those obstacles and shit like that, like the smaller guys usually have the advantage because.
I mean, the obstacles, I was killing the obstacles. The obstacles were fun as shit to me. Mm-hmm. It was the running. Because, like you were asking, some of the distances between each obstacle, for instance, one would be like half a mile. Mm-hmm. One would be a full fucking mile away. One was like a mile and a half away. So. God, you're just running, and it's straight mental at that point because my body was ready to give up on me by like the 5th, 6th mile, and I was like,
how long did it take you to finish it?
It was like, I want to say 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Fuck.
Yeah, because it's not like you're sprinting it because
you have to pace yourself.
Can't. Yeah, sure. you're trying to pace yourself, but it was just like, it was ridiculous. I was like, I'm just going through it like, oh my God. And I'm just chugging along. Like, it was almost like, when you're running, but you feel like you're walking in place. It's like, like my feet were moving. Like, I was like basically chopping my feet. Shit. But I was like.
Man, I couldn't imagine. My stepdad wants me to do I could be wrong. It's somewhere around there. It's 160-mile bike ride with him. I think in like October, November time.
Oh my God,
man! I don't know, like that right there. Like I don't know. Like I've never really been good with long distance. Like I could do it, but like I don't. Bike, like I just get bored. On a bike is different though. Like I've been going bike riding a little bit more, and I'm starting to like kind of every time go a little bit more. So it's like once you get going, it's not hard. It's when you have to slow down and then start to pick back up is where. But like once you get a good groove, and I think we're going on a trail. So it's like I'm not really gonna have to stop for traffic at stoplights, shit like that, for oncoming traffic and all that. So like if I get it going, like I feel like I could knock out a solid. I don't know about it because it's split between 2 days. So
yeah,
it's like
that's over 50 miles each day. Because what'd you say, 150 something?
160,
Oh my
150,
God.
160 between 2 days. Yeah,
that's a lot of miles, man.
Well, I mean, I got like a month and a half. I've been riding. I've been trying to go like 2 days a
Well,
week.
you keep training for that.
I mean, honestly, the worst part is like sitting on the seats. Like that shit gets uncomfortable. Like right where my my leg meets my ass, it starts getting sore as fuck. And then like the next 2 days, that shit's sore as hell. But I don't know.
That's what's another thing that's funny about that Tough Mudder. My training for it, I went to 24, ran 3 miles one time. I was like, I'm good to go. I ran 3 miles in 21 minutes. So I was like, 7-minute miles, I could do this. I'm thinking I'm about to run a 5K. I'm like, I'll finish in like 25. I was like, I'll finish in half an hour.
I definitely want to try one though, like Spartan race. Like it's all essentially the same.
The Savage
shit, right?
race was fun as shit though.
It's like one harder than the other, or it's just like a different name.
No, the Spartan is apparently like the hardest.
Oh shit.
The Tough Mudder is like the second hardest. Savage race is more fun. Yeah, it's more of a fun race. Again, shout out to Donna and Jose. Donna did the Savage race.
For real?
Yeah, Donna, you a beast. She did the Savage race.
Damn, I want to do one of those.
That was
are they gonna do
fun.
it because of COVID? Like, are they others? Like,
yeah, that I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna happen anytime soon. I mean, I'm sure they could still go on because it's not like you're necessarily that close to each other.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I guess.
I mean, in the beginning, yeah.
Once it gets going, y'all start.
But it's not like anyone's like fucking. You're not fucking all together, you know. There's some people who are just taking the fuck off, and which is funny about those races too, because sometimes you'll see someone in the beginning that took off, and then I end up passing them. I'm like,
the back of the
gotcha.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing, though. I feel like unless
it's all
like,
mental.
Yeah,
it is
unless
all
you're
mental.
like been training for that shit. Like I'm pacing myself from the beginning, and then that I feel like at some point you start figuring out like, all right, now I can start like it's just feeling it out the whole way.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that Tough Mudder, the best what is it? Not quote. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Metaphor. I can give it. There it is. The best metaphor. Separate the boys from the men.
Honestly,
real quick, because, for instance, like, there's one of the one obstacle that I personally hated the most out of all of them is I think it's about I want to say it's like the 7th, maybe the 6th to 8th mile, somewhere in between there. You basically run up like this thing, which is pretty cool. It's like a little track. You run up it, then you slide down it, but you drop into ice water. Ooh. Yeah, and they're like filling it like with ice the entire time.
Oh, shit.
So it's just pure ice water. And then you have to swim through its tire. Like under the ice water. Shock. So your body, it is. Like shock. I got out of it and I'm like and your shoes are wet. Like think about it, you're running now with muck basically.
What is it? Was it at least like a sunny day?
It's a hot ass day, but actually in the morning it was kind of like cold and muggy.
Oh shit.
And it was like in the 50s.
I feel like that would be the worst. That if it's like a fucking overcast day, so you like even if you get out of the water, you're still just it's cold. You don't have any sun to like dry you off on the run.
For anyone wondering, I mean, if you check, I have a picture on I'm gonna check right now. It's on my Instagram of like how cold it was when I originally got there.
Go follow the boy.
Yeah, Jacob Venus 11.
Boom.
I'm pretty sure all y'all follow me already, but if you don't, that's where to find me.
I mean, we got followers around the world, Jacob.
This is true.
The world.
But I still think they follow me.
Global.
It was 65 degrees when we got there, which isn't that cold. But in the morning, when you
coming out of ice cold water and then going into 65 degrees.
Well, that's in the morning. So, for instance, the very first, not even half a mile in, you run through. There's like 3 people on each side with a water hose, and they're just spraying you. So that from the very start of the race, you're soaked. So that just kind of pissed me off from the jump. I was like, man, now I'm wet and I'm fucking cold because you're running through the wind. So it was just, it just tests your mental toughness for sure.
I don't know. I want to do that. I mean,
we could do one. I'm down to do another one.
Skydiving.
That we will do very soon.
That's for your birthday at the end of the month.
This is true.
The end of fucking sober September.
Yep. Jump out of sober September.
I already told you. I'm probably gonna piss my pants. Like even if it's just a tiny bit, bro. I'm going to piss myself a little bit. That's just gonna be intense.
I'm pretty sure they make you go pee before you get on the plane,
bro. I'll try, but that's gonna be intense. How high do they go up?
We're gonna go off the one that's.
Can you pull that up real quick to see?
We're gonna go off the one that's 18,000
in Titusville.
The one in Titusville. I want to say it's like Space something skydive space center. I don't know what it's fucking called.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be. Oh, I've been wanting to do it for a while.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do this since I was like 16, but
Honestly.
never got around to it. Yeah, skydive space center.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go off the one that's the 18,000 feet.
Titusville. Beware. That's right on the website. Oh man.
Yeah, we should go on Groupon.
Groupon for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, 18,000 feet.
They'll have the deals.
That's what we doing.
Oh my god. Whoo. Whoo.
Yeah.
That's
Think about
high.
it, 8 to 10 minute parachute. So
He just falling for a while.
yeah, you're in the air for a solid. If it's 8 to 10 minutes after the parachute is already pulled, you're probably up.
Minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Oh my gosh! I saw a video. I told you I saw a video the other day of someone
A minute and a half of
skydiving.
just free fall.
Oh
Wow.
my god!
Just about for a minute and a
I
half.
saw a video on Instagram of somebody skydiving for the first time, and like the wind was so much that they lost their breath and they passed out. And then once the guy pulled the parachute, the guy smacked him in the face. He woke up like screaming and shit. It
That's
was like
funny.
I don't know.
Hopefully that doesn't happen to us. But
But imagine like that's how much like how fast you're going.
I
Like
know.
it's probably
what's
hard as fuck to
You know what's
breathe.
crazy to me? That before, because now they make you do, tandem jump. Like you're jumping
Yeah.
with someone on your back.
Yeah, it's like the first 5 or 10 jumps.
Correct.
you
The
do.
first, unless they changed it, the law, they made it to the first 5 jumps you have to do with someone on your back.
Mhm.
My dad went skydiving when my mom was actually pregnant with me. So this was, 25 freaking years ago.
Mhm.
My dad went skydiving solo by himself. No one on him.
Oh my god!
He went through it like a 25 minute class, missed the target by miles, ended up in an orange grove, fucked himself up a little bit,
Oh
but
my God.
imagine that.
Your
Like
dad seems like he's lived a crazy life.
he has. That man had a full life. Shout out to Pops, but goodness. Can you imagine fucking just all right.
Shit.
I got my 10-minute or 15-minute class.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
That's how it should
And
be
then
done.
they're just up there. You have your parachute. They're like, all right, you got to look at us because when this goes, you better pull it. And he apparently my dad had you have like a mic in your helmet so
Yeah.
they could talk to you. Apparently like right before they jumped out, his mic cut off.
Oh,
So he
shit.
can't hear anybody.
Oh my
And he's
God.
just in his own head basically at this point, falling.
Oh shit.
And he's looking to see, and he's looking at his wrist to see like the meter. But he was like, I honestly just pulled it when I got scared because the people he looked
Yeah.
and both people had pulled their chutes
Oh,
already. So he
shit.
looks up and he's like, oh shit, and he pulls his. That's why he missed the target by so much because he kind of
Yeah, you're moving so fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you only have like this.
correct.
Like,
You only have a
much
certain
to
amount of
fuck up,
time
yeah.
to
Margin of error.
Granted, it's not like he slammed into the
Yeah.
ground. God forbid, thank God. But yeah, like he pulled his parachute and he came down. But also, for instance, if you've never skydived before in your life,
Honestly.
how are you gonna coast? How are you gonna?
I don't know.
I
That
always
shit,
said,
like,
because I watched this video since I was like 3,
Yeah.
so I'm always seeing this. And what's
he
funny?
has a video of it.
yeah, it's old VHS of
Does
it.
he have it of him falling into the orange grove?
Yeah, the recording is of the whole thing. It's him in the air to where the guy looks down and is watching my dad still fall, and then they see him pull his chute.
Oh shit!
It's not like of my dad's helmet. It's like from somebody
yeah,
else,
yeah, I got
So then
you.
they see
Yeah.
they show the bullseye, the target. It's a giant fucking bullseye in the ground, and then
And
you
he's
see my
over here
dad
missing
just
that
fucking
shit.
coasting this way, and you're just out here like, oh shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty funny video. But what's the funniest part is it's to that song Jump. That's
Jump
not what it's called,
Around.
but no. What's it fucking called? Van Halen Jump. Yeah, that one.
Ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding,
Yep.
ding, ding, ding,
That-
ding,
yep.
ding, ding. All right.
Jump.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god! Imagine just falling to that song.
Well, I mean, that's not what was in the thing, but imagine, yeah, you just have your AirPods in, fucking.
Bro, like the Rip Ride Rocket.
Yeah, that'd
fucking
be-
universal.
That is true.
Bro, oh my gosh. That ride is fun, but jumping out of an airplane, that's going to be some different shit. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to do it for so long.
I know.
Now's
I'm
the time.
excited. Yeah.
It is. It's a good excitement.
Less
but
than a
like,
month. Less than a month till
I'm
we're
definitely going to.
free falling from 18,000 feet.
Ooh, shit. Oh my god. Well, I mean, what other crazy shit do you want to do?
I mean, I've done some pretty crazy shit.
Like, I mean, I've gone zip lining. I don't know how crazy that is, but it's fun.
I mean, I've gone zip lining. I've been in a hot air balloon.
Never been in a hot air balloon.
What else crazy shit have I done? I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, probably the craziest thing I've ever done, and being a kid, you know, I had no fear, didn't even think about it. I have a picture where I climbed a tree, and I'm actually on a branch hanging off of the Grand Canyon. Yeah. And, like, in my mind, it wasn't that crazy. But, like,
I have to see this picture.
But looking back at it, I'll bring it.
I have to see this picture. Oh,
I was with, I actually went on a road trip with Ridge and his grandparents, Russ and Ann.
Who's that?
Ridge?
Yeah.
That's one of my friends, childhood friends. But anyways, I went on one of this. You're like, I went on a basically like a cross country trip when I was like 11 or 12 with him and his family. Mm-hmm. And I remember I got yelled at so bad by Ann because of what I did. Mm-hmm. And as a kid, you know, I'm not thinking of like this branch can break because I'm literally hanging off of the Grand Canyon.
Well, I've never done anything like that. But like
I mean, in my eyes though, I'm just climbing the tree. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But not thinking about if this branch
fall
breaks.
To your fucking death if
Correct.
That shit breaks.
So I've never been yelled at by like someone else other than my family like that because like I got yelled at bad.
See, I've never done anything like that. I've never been in the Grand Canyon, so. But like
I've seen some shit in my life.
I don't know, like. I used to like jump off of a lot.
That
of
also
shit.
almost happened to me fucking snowboarding. When I went snowboarding with Dylan when we were pretty young, I sucked. Mm-hmm. I was tragic. If I went now, I feel like I'd have way better balance. But but back in the day, my balance wasn't there, and our dumbasses went to like a double black.
Oh god.
So it was just basically the whole time I was just riding down on my ass because I couldn't snowboard that shit. And then one of the angles was like double black. It's that for a reason. It's one of the most. It's a dangerous. It's a dangerous track.
What's like double black? Is there like diamond? I know.
Like black diamond or.
Some shit
I mean,
like
I say double. I say it's double black, but I don't know. It was one of the
harder ones.
Yeah, one of the more dangerous ones.
Yeah,
because they're not. It's not by like how hard it is. Because it's one of them.
Steepness.
It's the steepness, but it's also how the snow is.
Yeah.
Because for instance, on like little bunny trails and shit like that, the snow is solid.
Yeah, but those things are so. They're not steep
Correct.
at all. So that's what makes it like a bunny, a double black diamond, all that shit. I mean,
easier versus
obviously
harder.
The snow, but like it's the.
But also, you got to think you're coming down a mountain, so like there's sides to a mountain.
Yeah. So if you go off,
and there's ropes, and there was sliding down on my ass. Not Dylan. Dylan was perfectly fine. He was better than me. My ass almost went down off this mountain because like I didn't know how to angle myself down this double black.
See, I've never been snowboarding. I've been skiing before.
Nah.
That wasn't. It was hard. Like the first day, I got the hang of it, but I was falling for the first like 30 minutes. I was trying to get the hang of it. And
skiing's easier though.
Yeah.
Because snowboarding,
I went off a ramp once. That was
for instance,
fun.
Snowboarding, they tried to compare snowboarding to
surfing.
Yes, it is. It is basically like surfing.
I've never gone surfing though, so.
I'm like I said, these are all things I feel like I'm good at now, but when I went, I was trash. So like I hit everything, man. I fucking busted my head. I busted my ass, my back. I'm like, oh.
The second time I was supposed to go skiing, I got sick. I got a 24-hour bug. So like I was in the hotel room the whole day throwing up, thinking these were my last moments. I've never thrown up so much in my life. That was terrible.
I had a bad bug once.
But then the next day we went to the Ben & Jerry's factory.
You're like, I'm better.
Honestly, like it was literally like just the drive up. So we went up to Jersey. We went with my uncle and his wife at the time and this and that. And then we drove up from Jersey to Vermont, which is like a 5-6 hour drive, I think. Literally the whole way up there, I'm feeling nauseous as shit. Just like, oh my God. Like, I just felt bad. I don't know if it was like the altitude change or what it was. Yeah, literally, as soon as I stepped out of the car, threw up everywhere. Like in the snow, I'm like, oh, I feel better. Helped bring the luggage up to the room, all that. An hour later, I started feeling bad again, started feeling nauseous, threw
just
up.
Put my head in the snow.
And then like it was just for like 12, 13 hours.
Yikes.
And then the next day I felt fine. I ate a lot because I didn't eat and I was throwing up all day. And we went to the Ben & Jerry's factory and it was cool. We went snowshoeing or whatever that is.
Like in the little
with
shoes.
the little tennis rackets, yeah, whatever the fuck they are. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Funny. We rode on a little horse-drawn carriage. It was cool. I mean, but the first day that I was sick,
snowmobile ones. That was pretty cool.
I've gone jet skiing before. Jet skiing is fun.
Well,
Jet
yeah,
ski.
jet skiing. But jet skiing as well.
Yeah.
But that's not like a snowmobile.
Sure, it is. Snowmobile for the water. It has the same design essentially.
I guess.
Just one has a little fucking track.
But a jet ski is cool, and I went fast. But you're not really snowmobile. Like you're going up stuff, down stuff. It's a little different.
Riding the waves, whatever. I've been on the speedboat. Those are pretty fun.
As have I. You ever been wakeboarding?
I have not.
Wakeboarding is pretty cool.
I don't know. The ocean's. I went to the beach yesterday and I saw a shark.
Well, wakeboarding, you would do wakeboarding more in like a lake than the ocean. I mean, you can wakeboard in
I've
the
been
ocean.
tubing. I know what you're talking about. Okay, I was
Yeah.
thinking about something like jet skiing. Essentially, I don't know why I was thinking of the ocean.
I went to the beach. Parasailing or something? I've been parasailing as well. Parasailing was pretty cool.
I
would be like
I
in the
almost
ocean.
went. I could have, but I don't know why I ended up not going. It was in Mexico one time.
Yeah, me and Isabel, we went. I think we went in the Bahamas. Me and Isabel.
Cool.
Yeah, me and Isabel.
I don't know. I mean, I want to travel more, but since like COVID and all that shit, I do need to. I let my passport expire too, so I need to get that renewed. But I want to go to I
actually was supposed to. I was asking that yesterday. I was gonna put it on the Instagram, but I forgot to see who the fuck has passports. I want to ask that question.
Just start getting travel groups together and start going.
Yeah, I just wanted to gauge the audience, like who the fuck has a passport? Because I have my passport. It expires in like 2 years.
No, my expired.
And I gotta renew it.
This
but
past summer, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Not really.
Granted, COVID and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna. Granted, we might end up going on some little trip for my birthday, anyways. But I was planning a trip to go like out of the country. Yeah. Because I want to,
Yeah, but I don't think anywhere is.
I love being out of the damn
letting
country.
U.S. citizens in yet.
No, there's some places I'm sure. Fuck if I know though. I haven't done that much research into it. I just feel like they are.
I don't know. I just feel like COVID shit is just kind of people are just kind of forgetting about it.
Yeah, it's dying down.
Yeah, but
fuck it. Even if they want me to wear a mask, whatever. I just want to go somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know. Greece would probably be Greece, Brazil.
Greece is on the top of my list. I want to go. There's this place in
I lived in Italy for 2 years when I was a baby.
Yeah, baby.
So I don't remember that. So, but I would like to go.
Definitely want to go to Italy. Yeah. Never been there. I haven't been to Greece or Italy. I was thinking there's this place in like Argentina. I was trying to go because you can get to it through Argentina or Chile. Mm-hmm. It's what's the mountain range over there? Andes Mountains. It's
That's
a place.
In Chile.
Yeah, you can get to it through Argentina as well. It's someplace in the Andes Mountains that I was trying to go because there's
Have
like
you been
hikes
to Machu Picchu? You went to Peru, right?
I did go to Peru. I went to Lima.
You didn't go to Machu Picchu?
I did not.
My aunt went. That shit seems like some.
It seems pretty intense.
You're high up in the mountains and it's just like a town.
Yeah, but the actual like hike up to Machu Picchu, like the tip, and that's a pretty intense thing.
I've been to Spain and we went to go see like ruins.
Been to Spain.
We didn't get the time to go to Barcelona. I wanted to go because I want to see a Barcelona game, and they have I forget what that church is called, but it's like trippy as fuck. I forget what it's called. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but
gotta check my photos. I might have been there.
You went to Barcelona?
I've been to Barcelona.
Shit.
I went to Ibiza, but the place I liked the most in Spain was Madrid.
For real?
Yeah, it was a cool place. And
my grandparents live over there, so.
And it was in October, so there was no sober September. We went to this club in Spain, in Madrid, that had $2 shots.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Yeah, I went in there which was hilarious because you know how sometimes you plan like ahead of time. You're like, oh, let me not get too fucked up. I'm only gonna bring a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So I said the same thing. I was like, let me bring like $30 with me. 2 reasons. One, you're in a foreign country.
Yeah, you don't want to walk around with all your cash.
Correct. I wasn't trying to get robbed. And two, I was like, all right, $30. I shouldn't get that fucked up.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's gonna be like here, $5-10 a drink.
Sure enough.
And I'd been fine. 3 drinks, whatever. Cool. Sure enough, I get in there, $2 shots. I'm
Boom.
like, $2 shot.
You get drunk off
I
of
do
$10.
not remember how we got
$15.
home.
You still have enough money to get yourself some food?
Fuck food. I drank the whole $30. That's why we're called No Hangover. Didn't get a hangover, but I do not recall how I managed to walk from that club back to the, what's it called? The
hostel.
The hostel.
Bro, the movie Hostel fucked up. Like just every time I think of that, now I think of just people getting fucked up and torn up and sold to get tortured.
No, I mean I stayed in a couple hostels all through Europe. It was pretty nice. pretty nice.
Lucky you.
I'm still kicking.
No, but I did a lot of traveling while I was younger, but I haven't been able to. I haven't done as much like that. When I can enjoy the nightlife when I'm older, when I can go out and do my own thing. So that's definitely the move.
Yeah, because I mean,
not even really to enjoy it. Like, obviously, go out and like see things for my own and do my own thing. But like, I mean, I like
to experience different cultures
for sure. Yeah.
So like, for instance, me doing all the traveling I have done while I've been older, it makes you appreciate shit. So like, for instance, you appreciate home, but you also appreciate the differences of each culture. Mm-hmm. So it just
keeps you more open-minded.
Correct.
Because I mean, when you're going to like go do these like tours and excursions and shit like that, like they're taking you. Like my stepdad did one in DR, and he did the Dominican experience. Like that's what it was called, like a day in the life or whatever the fuck.
But I don't know about all those. If I ever go to, for instance, like when I went to Cuba or like every time I go to Puerto Rico, I've never done like an excursion.
For
like, yeah,
like the excursions are fun if you book like.
I don't know. I rather. I mean, granted, because my dad was born in Cuba, so when we went to Cuba, we rented a car and we drove to where he was born. Like I went into his childhood home and everything.
Yeah, when I went, I used to go to Puerto Rico a lot with my mom, and one of the times I was there, she showed me the house that she grew up in. Like we would go all over to the different places that to her high school, shit like that. So I mean, it's definitely different when you have somebody that grew up there and they're showing you around and shit.
Correct.
I mean, especially if it's your parents. So it's like they're really
my dad showing me and stuff, and it was just crazy to see because. I mean, we always like heard stories growing up, but like my dad was saying, I grew up in a really small house with, my two other brothers, my sister, my dad, my mom. Yeah. And then you get to the actual house and you're like,
see it. It's like, wow, this is it.
You're like, holy shit. Like,
yeah. Well, because
you lived here?
My dad's side of the family too. I went to Puerto Rico with them once with my grandparents, and I was staying with that side of the family, and they lived more up in the mountains, and they were more like rural. So like they had a restaurant that they had there, La Montaña, that was in their family for a while and whatever. So I mean, I got to see like all sides because my mom lived more in the city. Right. So then when I went, I was a little older. I was like 10, 11 when I went with my dad's side of the family, and I got to see how they were living and like how much different it was. Right. Still like a lot different than what I'm used to, but like seeing the differences like between their differences, it was like, oh shit, like
correct. And I mean, just like for instance in Cuba, where my dad was born. Compared to the tourists would see like Havana and stuff like that.
Yeah, when
the difference between them and just the drive to them was insane.
And it's like people like
we're driving. We're going through roads that aren't paved roads. There's no lights.
Yeah,
like the city, for instance, when we got to my dad's hometown, we got there at night, and the government can choose whenever they want to turn off the power. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, they had happened to turn off the power that night. So there's no street lights anyways, but there's no lights anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're driving and like we don't see houses at all. We don't see nothing.
Pure muscle memory.
My dad was like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going at this point because it's dark, it's pitch black. Besides the headlights of the car we had rented.
Oh, that's creepy.
And it's not like you can rent a car over there. Yeah. You rent a car from Havana by the airport. The more higher.
Yeah, I mean it's the more touristy area, the more like it's dolled up. I mean, there's a lot of places like that in the Caribbean where or in third world countries or whatever that they doll up the touristy areas, but a lot of people don't travel outside of that because it's kind of fucked outside of the touristy area.
It is, and I mean I've experienced that in a lot of places. It was like that kind of certain parts of Peru the same way.
Yeah, for
Lima is their capital.
Yeah,
Lima has a shit ton of people, and it's like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. You drive a little bit past where like you said, the city limits type shit. And it's like, oh shit, this is how people are living.
Yeah.
And then like, for instance, with Cuba, it was the same way. You drove past the tourist spots. It's like,
I mean, even going to Mexico, like that's right there. Like the few times, like
especially.
Yeah. My parents they've been going to the same resort for years. So they're members and shit like that. And like every excursion that you book is through the hotel, and they're good ones and shit like that, but you're not booking anything outside of that because it could be some sketcy shit.
Yeah, like
and like really like outside the limits of the hotel, there's armed guards and shit like that. Like it's like they have a big piece of property, so you the tourists or the people who are staying there don't really have to leave the resort or anything like that. But I mean, even in countries like that where it's right outside and you're in the shit, so it's
that was like this one cruise I went to, or was one cruise I went on. They stopped at where'd they stop? Basically, they had bought a certain part of Haiti, so it was like the DR and Haiti, because they're basically the same fucking island, just split.
Yeah.
So Royal Caribbean had bought a certain amount of acres, So, like, you could just tell once we pulled up, like, you see the big-ass fences and all that, and you're like, why is that there? But then you got to think about, it's so nice right here because as soon as you pass that fence, it's straight. Yeah. Like, it's straight
not the
shit.
Same.
Like,
it's
people,
not the same way of life in these fences than it is outside.
The people on the other side of these fences, like, they're struggling.
Yeah,
like,
they're roughing it.
They have a very hard life. Like, the fences are there for two reasons. One, to keep them out, but also it's like they kind of just shelter tourists. Like, oh, this is a beautiful place, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. I mean, it is.
You can't, because if you're a cruise line or something doing vacations, you want to make this vacation spot look like it's glamorous and look like it's all this. Which, I mean, the landscape and like the way it looks on the beaches, and it's all beautiful. But like, to an extent, like, this is all beautiful, but the shit that's going on here is not so beautiful.
Yeah,
so
it's like that in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
When you pull into Nassau, like, you have the little strip. There's like senior frogs at the end. There's a bunch of shops and stuff. But like, they even straight up tell you on the strip, like, don't go 5 minutes past this.
Yeah.
Like, you're on your own. They even straight up tell you, like, a taxi will even be like, I'm not taking you over there. You're on your own if you go past this.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, unless you're with people that you know and that know the area and that you're comfortable with, then you really, I mean, what's the point of going?
I mean, you're at the mercy, too, wherever you're at, honestly, because...
I mean, you're in foreign land. You don't know jack shit.
Exactly, and
like, we were talking about it last week. We know people that don't even know how to get 15 minets down the road and don't know how to do directions. So imagine you're in a whole different country and you don't know anything.
Which I kind of like. I mean, looking back, we were talking about this last week. When you have that fear, the feel of invincibility, I kind of lived like that, where it's like, regardless of where I am, I feel like it's more of the way you carry yourself.
For sure. And
like how you're gonna, assess every situation. Granted, I'm not someone who has my fucking head up their ass. Like, I know where I'm at. Like, I know I'm in a foreign country. I know to keep my head on a swivel. Like, you look out for shit. And I mean,
but you stay within the fucking parameters of where the people.
Not necessarily. Like, I mean, I try to, yes, but I'm not like willingly like, oh, where's the worst area of this country? I'm gonna go there. Like, I'm not, saying, I'm not saying dumb shit like that. But I do like to go off the, beaten path. Like, I like to travel to where no one else would have traveled. I don't know why I'm like
uncharted over here.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm like this, but I like to see things that the people that live there would see, not like tourists. I don't like,
I mean, that's what you want to
get. I am a tourist, but I'm not trying to experience that. Like, I want to experience
to an extent, though. Like I said, my stepdad
else.
did that thing in DR where it was like, I think it's like called A Day in the Life, and they would take you to like a house, and like it was, tour guide, and it was safe, and the people were like, the tour guides, I'm pretty sure he told me, had guns on them just in case, like,
right.
But it's like that. I mean, the houses where he told me that the kitchen was the biggest room in the house, the living room was like the size of maybe this space that we're in, like within these couches, maybe a little bit bigger. And they're asking questions like, well, why is the kitchen so big? Well, that's where everybody eats when everybody's not working. That's where everybody comes. Well, and then the people that he was with in the group, they're asking like, well, why is the living room so small? It's like, well, I mean, after the day's done, like, we don't really have enough time to just lay around and chill in the living room. So it's not really a big need to have a giant ass living room with like the TVs are like fucking this big black and white with antennas. It's like people are living a lot more simple than.
Oh yeah, in Cuba, for instance, like I said, my dad's childhood home where he lived with, his room was basically like the size of this couches, where he lived with him and two other brothers.
Yeah.
His parents' room was just as big. Like, it's a very small house.
I mean, and it's in a lot of like rural cultures, but like, I mean, we could speak for like Spanish cultures. It was normal to have like 5, 6, 7 kids to help around the house and shit like that, and to help with what's going on, because they're very family oriented, like with the operation of what's going on in the house.
Plus, I mean, in like, for instance, in Puerto Rico and Cuba, like, they come from, farmers and other things.
Yeah.
It's not like here where it's like, if you have a bunch of kids, it's like, oh, why are you having a bunch of kids? Shit like that. There is, you have a bunch of kids to help around the house. Like, the oldest does this, the middle child does this. Like, you're basically making hunters and gatherers pretty much.
It's a fucking family business.
Yeah, like, hey, y'all get the corn,
making
y'all
their
do
own
this.
employees for real.
Correct.
But I mean, it's just a different culture. I mean, it's just like I said, and we both harped on it a little bit. It's, for me, it's like the hope when I go to travel is that you kind of gain some perspective when you come back. Like, obviously, it's fun, like, whatever. And a lot of people, I see people like this that do go travel that are still kind of like, well, I would rather live here and there. And it's like, that's all fine. But, like, going somewhere on vacation and living there are two different things.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm not saying there's not places that, you wouldn't want to go, whatever, you haven't thought about it. But, like, you have to, like, really put it in perspective, like, things are not always like you said. Like they're gonna spruce up the touristy side and make it look like it's $1 million. Like it's
100%.
the fucking shit when it's really that's just what they want to show you, to sell tickets and get money. It help like it's just things aren't always what people are trying to paint it.
I mean, I could have even said that about like Seattle, for instance, because I visited Seattle twice before I actually moved there. So, like, both times I went, I saw something different. Yeah. It was like it was a cool time, but it was like, this was what I was experiencing. So I was like, okay, yeah, I could probably live here. Versus living there, it's entirely different, because then you're in it every day. You see how it really is.
You gotta make your life there.
Correct.
So that's, like, work, dealing with people, so how you're going to get to work, maintenance, this. It's a lot more than just, I'm going to live here.
Yeah,
and
it's 100% different. So I understand what you mean by that, because I've said that even when I was like, when I went to Spain, when I went to, where'd I go? Freaking London, Amsterdam. I was like, oh, Paris. I was like, oh, this is cool. You see how people are living. Mm-hmm. But seeing it versus being there in it every day.
Day in, day out.
Entirely different.
You got to deal with the weather. You got to deal with this. It's like, it's,
It was freaking cold.
Yeah, bro. That's the one thing that I hate. That's the one thing I hate about, like, up north and shit. Like, I don't like the cold. I don't like living in that shit. I don't like having to deal with the snow. Like,
I liked Washington's climate because
did it snow while you were up there?
It did snow, and I mean, I did have some winter days where I had to, wake up early, freaking scrape off my windshield, get the snow off, start my car before I left.
Like waking up 30 minutes early to do all that extra shit is like, why? Like, that's not fun.
I mean, it wasn't terrible though.
Stayed in my car for 5 minutes and then boom, dip. That's it.
I mean, here, shit, I do the same thing here. Not 30 minutes, but I wake up. I start my car at least 5 minutes before I get in that bitch. It's so hot.
I just sit in my car for 5. Like, I'll start it and I'll just sit there for like 3-5 minutes real quick.
I'd already be sweating. I literally start it, go back inside, come back out.
Damn.
Like, it's so hot.
Damn, like that? For you? Really? You start sweating like that?
Yeah. What you mean?
Damn. It's what time are you waking up?
It doesn't matter. Even when we lived in the apartment,
I don't know,
and I'd be gone by 6:30, I'd still be damn near same thing.
I thought I sweated bad.
It's humid as shit in the mornings.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, I do that so I don't sweat as bad. I mean, I don't always, depending on how hot it is. But like, it's pretty rough.
Pretty
out
active
here.
Sweat glands over there.
It's all right.
I thought I sweat a lot. I feel like I sweat a lot. Like I feel like I sweat like
you probably do sweat more than me.
Like,
but
damn, like I don't know.
I'm just
like,
saying, I personally I like my car to be
the
cooler.
AC will start kicking like quick, and
mine does too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's just hot, man.
Fuck, it is hot. I didn't know it was that hot, but it is hot. Oh fuck, where we at?
Let's see here.
Name of church.
I think that was the church you were talking about.
Josh.
Really?
We got to.
Wow.
What are we at? Is that 50 minutes? Boom.
He's like, what the fuck? I did not see that one coming.
We got 2 new followers on the gram. Nice. Shout out to the fucking No Hangover Podcast Instagram while we're at it. Just thought I'd throw that out there again.
Gotta shoot it some love.
Well, I mean, we got a little like 10, 15 minutes left. You want to talk about some NBA shit real quick? I know you're excited.
Get into this
I know
bubble.
You feel you're on your high horse right now.
So, like I was trying to tell E, and he just didn't want to believe me. The Miami Heat are fucking about to sweep the Bucks.
I don't think they're gonna sweep. Unless they really do, like you were saying, unless they really do some bitch shit and sit Giannis, then I'm like, the NBA is soft. I don't care. The NBA is soft.
Sit Giannis, it's gonna be a clean sweep today.
They're gonna get at least one. It'll be a gentleman's sweep.
Nope.
Damn, son.
It's gonna be a clean sweep.
Nah.
Miami's going 8-0.
All right, and then who do you think they play?
That's the thing. I don't know who's gonna win this Celtics-Toronto series.
I feel like that's a hard matchup. I don't know which one's the better matchup, but I definitely think in either instance, I feel I will give the slight edge to either Toronto or Boston over Miami.
Well, they're the higher seeds, but Miami is some fucking dogs.
They are dogs. They are some dogs. Jimmy Butler definitely gives them that edge.
We got that fight Miami
dropped 40. He did drop 40. Wait, it was game 1, right?
game 1.
Jeez, he did drop 40. He's over here showing out. He
and
is
then
showing
game
out.
3 dropped 30.
He is showing out.
Granted, game 2 he had a very pedestrian game, but he hit the game-winning free throws.
He is a dog. He's got that dog in him. Wasn't it what he was homeless at one point, right?
Yeah,
Sleeping in his car.
he wasn't sleeping in his car. He was homeless by the age of 13.
Oh, well.
He was just going
Even
around,
worse. That's a
sleeping
mindset.
wherever
That's
he
mental
could.
toughness right there.
Yeah,
That's mental toughness. Going back to that shit. That's
so Jimmy Butler's story. He has an interesting story. He went to Marquette just like D Wade, but
yeah, boy.
Jimmy, I think he lost his dad by before the age of 10, and then his mom had kicked him out by the age of 13, and was like, "I don't want to see you again. Like, you're done.
Be gone."
So he was basically homeless from the age of 13 to a family actually, finalized and took him in, I think his junior year. So his junior or senior year of high school was when he finally basically had a home.
Just bouncing around houses.
Correct. Just bouncing, sleeping wherever he could. He slept on the street some nights. He slept at a friend's house some nights. He slept, in a friend's driveway. He even said some nights, wherever he could, basically.
That's some fucking rough shit.
Well, and he just kept grinding, kept working, made his way, And he wasn't the biggest star or biggest recruit.
No, he wasn't.
Made his way to, got into Marquette, balled out there, and ended up. He was a late first round pick though. He did get picked in the first round, but then just was doing the damn thing.
He definitely grinded his whole career, because even in Chicago, his first couple of years, he wasn't a baller like that. And even when at his prime in Chicago, it was only really his last 2 years that he was really becoming a great a scorer, a go-to guy.
Correct.
And then once he got traded,
Yeah, on the Timberwolves, he became more of that guy, but he had issues with people not working as hard as
people
him.
being soft.
And then, for instance, the same with the 76ers. He got traded to the 76ers.
People being soft.
He did some things in the playoffs for them, but exactly.
Yeah.
They weren't mentally tough.
But it's hard. Listen, imagine a guy like that. It's probably hard as fuck to match his type of drive and his type of coming from what he came from, it's probably hard as fuck 100%. To match that.
100%. I've said it a bunch of times. I always, for instance, in relationships, I always bullshit and be like, "Oh, match my hustle." There's not a lot of people who are gonna. And granted, I grew up pretty, in a pretty well-rounded household, but just my dad being an immigrant, my dad showing me
he instilled that shit.
Yeah,
in
didn't give me no I didn't have any slack. For instance, I didn't get given a fucking car. Both my sisters got their first car. This motherfucker made me work for everything. I had to buy my own first car. I'm like, damn it.
There you go, though. I mean, that.
But it instilled that in me, work hard, work. So, because that's all he did. So it was nothing was going to be given to me. So it was you got to earn everything. So I feel that's where Jimmy is, for instance. And why Miami is just some dogs is because they straight up said it. They were like, "Oh, Jimmy, why do you like it here in Miami so much?" He's like, Because if I cuss some motherfucker out, or if I'm not working as hard, they're gonna cuss me right back out.
Yeah.
Because that's just the work ethic. They're just putting in work.
But at some point,
and they're bullying on the first.
At some point,
the number one seed.
At some point,
bullying.
They're gonna meet somebody, and I feel like Toronto will be that team that's gonna match that dog. And I feel like they're slightly more talented than Miami.
So they are the defending champions.
Exactly, and a lot of people shit on them, but Kyle Lowry, I was one of them. I was a big doubter of him. I didn't like him, but he comes up big in big moments the past 2 years. He's been coming up big in big moments.
He still sucks.
No. You can't say that. He's got a ring. Jimmy doesn't have a ring. Jimmy does not have a ring. Guess who does? Kyle Lowry.
I'm not saying Jimmy is the greatest player of all time here. I'm just saying Kyle Lowry, personally, I do not like him.
I'm just saying he's proven himself. I used to be in that same boat, but he's definitely, the past 2 years, he's definitely proven himself to be a leader.
I still think Jimmy is better than Kyle Lowry.
I think he's better, but he's definitely stepped up, and he comes big. He comes up big in big moments. Fred VanVleet comes up big in big moments. I want to see Pascal Siakam assert himself more on the offensive side and not be scared to, take over the game offensively, because I feel
about basketball.
I feel talent-wise, he's probably their best player.
Pascal?
Yeah, but he needs to be more assertive on the offense.
He needs to basically say,
give me the ball.
Yeah, he needs to take over that role of this is my team now. Because, Kyle even was willing to give it to him, but he's kind of shying away from the moment. Like,
yeah, he definitely
you gotta grow up and fucking seize that shit.
And the only thing with Boston is like I feel like they're probably the best team like depth wise in the East, but their best player is Jason Tatum, and I feel like he's still too streaky for me. He's still too young. I feel like he's too like
I wouldn't say he's too streaky though, because I mean,
like he's consistent, but he's not consistent enough on the level to win a championship yet. If he's your best player and he's your best offensive play piece, I don't know if
he's averaging 25 right now. You can't say he's too streaky because the lowest scoring game he's had in the playoffs so far was like 22 points.
Yeah, but I don't know.
That's not
is
that
averaging
streaky.
22 points? Is that?
He's averaging 25. That was his lowest game.
I don't know.
That's not that streaky, man. Like it's not like he's just shy. You know,
it just seems like the games that I've seen, and maybe it's just because they're such a good team and they have a lot of offensive players, a lot of players to spread out the ball offensively, like Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker. Like they have those guys that they can need touches. But I just feel like he gets his points, but it doesn't really feel like he's got a big impact on the game. You get what I'm saying? Like,
well, because he's kind of, for instance, he reminds me of. I mean, not the way they play, but for instance, you know when Kawhi scores, they score a quiet 30.
Yeah.
Like, so for instance, Jason Tatum's the same way. Like he's not
but
that
Kawhi,
bam
but
in your
Kawhi
face.
was never really like he's more recently become that offensive guy. Jason Tatum came out of college like because his biggest asset was scoring the ball, being on offense, and being able to take over a game. And it just doesn't really seem like he gets his points, but it doesn't seem like it has like. It's still 25 is 25 regardless of how you get it. It just doesn't seem like it has that impact yet. You feel me?
Yeah. No, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting series.
It definitely is.
They're over here tied 2-2. Mm-hmm. So
and this happened last year with Toronto where they were down 0-2 to Milwaukee, and then they started tearing. They won 4 in a row, and then they just didn't look back.
So we'll see, because I mean, even Fred VanVleet said like, oh, they fucked up when they lost that game because they could have easily went up 3-0. But we'll see.
I mean, I still got the Lakers. They dropped game 1.
They did, but
they've been on a rest.
They did that last exactly.
Yeah, they were resting, and the Rockets came out of game 7.
They're gonna adjust, and we'll see.
I feel like the Rockets are gonna start unraveling.
I believe
because really the end of that game 7 against Oklahoma was a clusterfuck. It was ugly to watch. There was a lot of bodies. It was a very ugly game. Yeah, it really was. It was a low scoring game. It was like only in the 80s.
Yeah, it was and even the Beard.
He did not play good. He just came up big, but somebody had to come up big at some point. Like,
he played like shit.
Yeah, so it's
said
like,
it himself.
I still don't have much faith. They did. PJ Tucker was playing good defense on.
He was, but Anthony Davis also was shying away from what he's the best at.
Yeah,
he was just trying to shoot. He shot a lot of threes. I feel like LeBron's basically going to tell him, "You're about to bully these boys."
Yeah,
and they're going to assert themselves. We'll see today.
Do you think they rip off another 4 in a row like they did in the last series?
I was going to say, I don't know if they hit a clean gentleman's sweep again. I think probably Lakers in 6.
How about this Denver Clippers?
That's 1-1. That's going to be interesting.
Jokic had a good game last night. And the thing is that against...
You think Clips in 5? Nah.
I think the Nuggets against the when you put a big guy on Jokic, like someone who can play defense like a Rudy Gobert, like he struggles. He's kind of soft, but there's no big guys really like that.
Zubats.
Yeah, but that's one guy.
He locked his ass up in game 1.
Yeah, and then he came back and
this is true.
Balled on him.
But Jamal Murray was also balling last night. But for instance, if it happens to be the same as in Game 7 versus the Utah series, or the Game 1 basically, where he just runs out of gas, they're not going to be able to beat the Clippers teams when Jamal Murray isn't dropping 25+.
They need a third. They need somebody else to step up. I don't think
Porter. Michael Porter Jr.
I feel like
he is too young. But
Gary Harris, isn't it?
I don't know though. They were hooping last night.
But to do it consistent for 7 games.
But that's the thing. We go back and forth with it every time because we never know. Basketball is a crazy sport.
I mean, you could say that about any sport, but
history has basketball shown us. Is one of the craziest sports.
In the bubble at least, that Gary Harris, you can't rely on him on a day in day out basis. You can count on him, like he'll sprinkle in some shit here and there, and he'll have a big game here and there offensively, but you can't rely on him to do it day in and day out. And I feel like you have to have right now where everybody has a big 2. Like if you have that third solidified scorer, that will put you over the top, and that could tip the scales in your favor.
True, but I mean, for instance, to go back to the Bucks and Miami series, Game 3, Bucks had a 12-point lead going into the fourth. Miami outscored them 40-13. Jimmy personally outscored them 17-13. So it's like anything could happen.
Giannis.
It's just
Giannis is disappointing me.
Yeah, that's your boy.
The Bucks.
Check your boy.
Well, I mean, he needs to
Shit, my boys are
open
getting
his
it.
game up. He needs to open his game up.
Bro, you see all the memes where it's like Giannis shooting the three, and it's like
so ugly.
You see everyone's like at Stephen A's face, like, and they showed Jimmy. They've put the whole Heat lineup, and then the refs, the coaches, and they're all like, because it's like we know he's not hitting those. On a consistent basis. Granted, he can hit them. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, anybody can hit him if they shoot him enough. I mean, he's only shooting 30%. So I mean, he's not shooting great. Yeah. He's more willing to shoot him, but that's not always necessarily. That don't mean that you're good at it.
And like I said, Giannis. I mean, I feel like hopefully he does play for the sweep. He's still gonna get swept, but hopefully he at least shows up and at least plays. But I mean, for instance, Game 3. They were shit in the fourth. Giannis even missed like a wide open layup.
Yeah.
Like they're just,
I don't know, man.
They're scared.
Jimmy's
in their head. Jimmy's in all their head.
I mean, they're definitely out. But then that opens the what does Giannis do? He still has one more year on his contract, right? So I mean,
2021.
What does he do? I mean, I guess he has to deal with it unless he tries to force his way out of Milwaukee. But
it's either gonna be they need to get someone else for him.
Who? I mean, unless in a trade but there's no big free agents this season.
That's true.
Nobody who's really gonna make a difference, at least unless I'm missing somebody. But nobody's gonna make like a significant impact, like that's gonna be put you over the top over Chris Middleton. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they need someone better than Chris Middleton.
Yeah,
the second option.
Yeah, I mean, and their third option is Eric Bledsoe. Who else? I mean,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's like
Kyle Korver coming off the bench.
Kyle Korver is not an option. He just shoots threes.
I don't even know how the man is still in the league.
Brooke Lopez. I mean, is he their third option?
I mean, he's better now.
Between him and Eric Bledsoe, depending on the night. But like, I guess that ain't it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he needs somebody. They need somebody.
Who are they gonna trade? Who would you trade? I mean, in an ideal fucking world, who would you put next to him? If you had to give up two players to get one, who would you take? So Chris Middleton and I don't know.
I think some free agents. I mean, granted, I don't think they're the best players ever, but
Anthony Davis is probably going to resign, and even if you put him and Anthony Davis together, I don't know how well that works.
They play too similar.
And Van Fleet, no, he's not.
Or I think DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, they might be free agents.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Not interested. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say. Like, I don't see what they could do. There was something saying that DeMar DeRozan might try to go to Miami, and I was like, why?
I mean,
personally, just because the Heat in Toronto, it's like whatever.
They just add another
It's basically like a worse version of Jimmy. Like, I don't want him.
No, he's a poor man's Jimmy, essentially. Yeah, he's got a nice little mid-range.
He's
athletic.
He's a mid-range killer.
He's probably a little bit more athletic than Jimmy Butler. But I mean, I'll take Jimmy Butler over DeMar DeRozan any day of the week.
Yeah, 100%. I wonder who the Heat are gonna get. I feel like Giannis is just gonna come to the Heat.
That would be some KD bitch shit.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna KD it.
I hope he doesn't do that. Oh my God, I hope he doesn't do that.
He's gonna KD it. He'd be like, they just swept me. I'm going to the Heat.
No.
If I swear to God, if he goes to the Warriors, I will stop watching basketball next season.
Well, I mean, they've lost before.
This is true. I'm not saying they're going to be unstoppable.
And plus, I mean, Steph is older. Clay's coming off a knee
ACL.
injury.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting old.
Yeah, no, I don't think the Warriors.
How old's Clay? Is Clay 30 already? He's in his 30s? He's probably, I mean, if he's not, he's damn near to it.
He's probably 29 or 30.
And, as much as I like Clay, he's not really, I mean, who was I talking about this the other day that, oh, my God. Okay, do you think Klay Thompson is a top 10 player?
In the NBA?
Yeah.
No.
Do you think Luka is a top 10 player in the NBA?
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's it.
Yeah. Luka is a rising star.
Luka is probably 7 to 10.
His ceiling is fucking crazy.
He's only 21. 20, 21.
21.
The thing is, I think I've said this before, is that like since he's already played so much professional basketball from such a young age with grown men,
like
he's
not gonna have a long career.
Yeah, he might not have a long career. He might, but that kind of worries me a little bit.
I don't think he's gonna have a 15, 16 year career, but I think in his
8 to 10
year career, it's gonna be a pretty exciting.
Do you think he wins any chips?
I do.
They need to get,
because think about it. They had the Clippers on their heels for a minute without even Kristaps,
and they don't play defense either.
Exactly. So like they get another player maybe, somebody who's assertive, who like
maybe a Fred VanVleet.
No,
bro, he's good, bro.
Shut that shit up. No,
I'm
talking like
he's got dog in him, bro.
No,
they don't need another like top scorer. They have
no. They don't need a scorer. They need someone who's gonna.
He plays defense.
Yeah, but if Kristaps Porzingis gets in a fight, you want Fred VanVleet to stop the fight? Like,
sure.
Fuck that.
Bro, the NBA's soft anyways. Ain't nobody fighting in the NBA.
I know, but I'm saying
they're
like
just barking at each other. They're soft as hell.
To be assertive, be tough, just show face basically of like, oh, I'll whip your ass. I'm not taking Fred VanVleet.
Montrezl Harrell.
Fuck Montrezl.
Well,
I mean, he would be that
Fred
kind of player.
He plays defense and he scores the ball. You got to think about what he does for Toronto and think about what he would bring to a team like Dallas with a guy like Luka and a guy like Porzingis. And Tim Hardaway Jr. isn't a bad scorer. Seth Curry can score the ball.
That is true.
They just need some defensive presence, some veteran presence on that team, and that takes them over the top. It doesn't need to be like a superstar guy. It just needs somebody with the right mentality.
But I wouldn't say it's going to be Fred. But
who else this offseason, though? Who else are you going to add from free agents? Unless you start trading people.
Yeah. Who knows, man?
But that's what I'm asking you. What do you think?
I know it's a crazy place. I don't know who they need, though. I don't know exactly who they need.
I told you who they need. They need some defense.
They need
some veteran presence.
Fred VanVleet is not going to be that lockdown defender for you.
No, I'm not saying lockdown defender. I'm saying
Montrezl would be a pretty good fit if you're going to say because he's at least a bigger guy. He can guard a couple positions. At least
I'd take Fred VanVleet over Montrezl Harrell. Fred VanVleet is a better scorer than Montrezl. Montrezl is, for as much as I like him, he's a hustle player that plays defense.
Dallas doesn't need another scorer. We literally just got through saying this.
But you think about
Luka can drop. He could drop fucking 40 if he wanted.
But you're missing what I'm saying. He can score, but he brings that defensive mindset. That dog. He plays both ends of the floor.
I get that because
that's what they don't have. That's what they lack.
Fred VanVleet is not guarding the 3, the 4, the 5. He's not.
Okay, well you have
the stars of the NBA, at least the top 10 we were talking about.
This is a guard-oriented league. What are you talking about?
Not necessarily. The top 10, I wouldn't say are guards.
Steph, James Harden.
Fred VanVleet isn't guarding James Harden.
Yeah, he does. He plays on the perimeter.
He's not guarding James Harden.
You're thinking of it too much as one-on-one. You have to understand that basketball is a 5-on-5 sport.
Trust me, I know what basketball is.
Why are you thinking of too much? Like you gotta he's gonna fit into a scheme.
You gotta understand the scheme. Yes, it might be a team game, but the NBA isn't running boxing ones and fucking zones. It is a one-on-one league. They play man-to-man defense.
With a lot of switching, though.
That's a lot of switching, yes, but it's your predominant defender is man-to-man defense. I
don't know. All I'm saying is with what's given this year, you're not giving me any better alternative. I'm just saying with the free agents that are giving.
At least for Dallas's,
answer the question.
What Dallas has, I would pick Montrezl over Fred VanVleet. For the players Dallas already has, I would pick Montrezl. Because they have Luka, they have Seth, they have who else they have in guards?
Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, they have their guard play is okay. Granted, yes, I agree their defense is lacking there, but if you're going to get a defensive minded player, I'd want someone who can match up with bigger players. Because for instance, they're in the West. The players in the West, who are the top players in the West?
Dame, Steph, James Harden, all guards.
LeBron. PG.
PG's a guard.
But he's a fucking 6'10" guard. You're not fucking putting Fred VanVleet on Paul George.
I'm just saying.
You're not.
Okay, but you're going to put Montrezl Harrell on him? He's not going to be. He don't have the feet to guard him.
I would rather Montrezl, at least a bigger body.
Montrezl does not have the feet to guard PG.
He's going to do better than fucking Fred VanVleet.
I don't know.
Fred VanVleet would get bullied.
I don't know.
Paul George would play in the post. He wouldn't even play on the fucking
I don't know.
perimeter.
It depends when we're talking about what PG we're talking about too.
Yeah, playoff P over here. Fucking. I mean, he was doing good like last 2 games, but the first round he's trash.
Yeah, I don't know.
Absolute garbage.
I don't really have faith in him. I like him as a player, but
I like Paul George. Paul George is probably. I mean, I've said it before. Paul George is like one of my.
He's one of my favorite players to watch, but
he's
like,
one of my top 3 players.
He just shrinks in big moments.
I agree.
But everybody can't have that fucking it factor.
That is true.
That it factor.
This is true. And
10 out of 10. You got anything else you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to say? You're wearing some pink ass pants, I'll tell you that.
I was surprised it took you this long. Yeah. Hope y'all like the swag for today's episode.
Hey, I mean, it looks good.
Appreciate
I give you props. I wouldn't wear that shit, but hey, somebody's got to. Somebody's got to wear it.
Not everyone can pull it off like me.
I guess you're right, Jacob. I guess you're right.
But on the closing, like we said in the beginning of the episode, shout out to XL Tint.
Boom.
If you need your car tinted, hit up our boy Ryan for free estimates. That number, Jesus.
That shit is small. It's 386-479-7111.
Yep.
So that's his number. You can call him, text him for a free quote. His Instagram is XL_tint. His Facebook, same thing, XL Tint without the underscore. I already gave you the number, so call him. Give him some business. He does a good job. He's a hard worker. He's going to make sure that shit comes out fucking pristine, clean, all that good shit. So give him a call. He'll get the job done.
He will fix that car up for you.
Ba-boom. On that note, episode 63. We're out of here.
Signing off. Peace.
We're not going to shout our shit out?
Are we closing it again? All right, I guess I can't leave yet.
Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Are we still on Google Play? Google Play.
Yes,
check us out on there. Subscribe, like, comment, rate, all that good shit. Check us out on Instagram at No Hangover Podcast. Comment, DM. We post snippets on there. We post when we put new episodes out. I'm gonna try and go on IG Live more, probably every Friday. I want to field some questions, interact more with the audience. Jacob gonna be there. We might do it on our own thing, but we're gonna be a lot more active on the social media in these next coming weeks. So check that out.
Start posting more on my personal page as well.
Boom. Good. Get on some IG Live. Interact with your fans, Jacob. I know you got a lot of them. Boom. All right. Now on that note, everybody love everybody. We're out. Jordan should be back next week. So
doses.
Boom.